I have a big announcement to make. Hui and I are... Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from today's title, I have a big announcement to make, and I'm just gonna cut to the chase, is that Hui and I are moving. We are moving back to California in a few months actually. So basically when our lease is up. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know that Hui and I are both from California. We lived there our whole lives. I am actually from the Bay Area. I went to school in San Diego, law school in Orange County, and I lived in Irvine before moving to New York. Hui and I moved to New York after we got married because Hui wanted to move here, and at first I was very hesitant because in my head I thought, why would anyone want to leave California? It's so great. But of course, after an adjustment period here in New York City, I grew to love it, and that's really when my channel grew because New York is so exciting. There's so many things to do. The energy is great, and there's so much opportunity here. But we knew it would probably be temporary because it's really hard to raise a family here in New York, especially when your parents all live in California. So we knew it would be temporary, but we didn't know for how long. Basically, after we renewed our lease for the second year, we thought that our third year might be our last year, but we would sort of think about it and figure it out. And we figured that in January of 2019, we would really pray and seek God's direction and wisdom and what to do when our lease is up. So the whole month of January, in the beginning we actually fasted as part of a church-wide fast. We fasted all social media, and I really used that time to pray and to read my Bible and just try to be silent and to hear from God. Hui and I actually prayed and thought about it separately, and the point was that at the end of the month we would come together and actually write on a piece of paper what we decided and switch. We wanted to understand what each of us, any words we got from God or any direction we got separately before coming together to make the decision as a couple. And if it was the same answer, then at least it's probably further confirmation that that's the path that we would take. So the three options were stay in New York, and if we stayed it would probably only be another year, move to California, and if we were to move to the Bay Area or to SoCal. So it was a lot to take in. There are a lot of pros and cons to each place. We each had our own preferences, but we didn't really share that with each other. And at the end of the month, we did write on a sticky note. I put the three options on our names, and we each circled what we wanted, and then we put it in an envelope and switched. And as you can see in this clip, this is what happened. Alright, so Hui and I are going to decide whether or not we are going to stay in New York for another year or move, and if we are moving, where we're moving to. Basically our future. When our lease is up in July. So we're going to each individually mark our answer, put it in one of these envelopes, and then open it and see what the other person's decision was. We've been praying and thinking about it for the last month pretty much. So here it goes. Here we go. Can you grab it?
Which is mine?
Just grab it with your hand. No, it's this one. Guess what, guys? We chose the same thing. So there were a lot of reasons for why I chose the Bay Area or San Francisco, but most of them were spiritual reasons. I really felt that God was calling us as a couple and that He could use us the most while we're in the Bay Area. There's family and churches there that we know through our AMI network. It was actually the least comfortable choice, so I really think it's another opportunity to grow and stretch ourselves and to not fall into the comfort zone of being in somewhere familiar or somewhere where you know it'll be easy. I know I grew so much from moving to New York, even though I hated it at first, and I think that'll be great for us to just start a new chapter. And you know, I didn't necessarily hear a voice from God saying to go there, but I really feel at peace with our decision, and I'm excited for it. Here are the post-its, and we chose the same thing, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. Like, I guess you had a 1 in 3 chance of choosing the same thing, but if I had to be honest, I think LA was my #1 choice because I love LA. I think our plan is to maybe eventually settle down there. We're not sure yet, but of course, and I think we really wanted to stay in New York because he just loves it so much here, and he really built a lot of connections. It's hard to leave friends, and especially for me, work. I know I talk a lot about how I don't necessarily enjoy being a lawyer, but I really like my job. I like my boss, I like my company, I like the work that I do for the most part. It's not stressful. I really enjoy it, and I just really love our life here in New York. It's not going to be the same. I mean, no city is like New York, and it's definitely difficult, but I really feel confirmation that God is calling us to move back to the Bay. As I mentioned, my family is from there, so they're obviously very excited, but we really don't have that many connections there anymore. I mean, I haven't lived at home really, except for coming home during the summer, since I was 17 years old, and he's obviously never lived in NorCal, so we're not sure where we're going to live yet, if it's going to be in the city or if it's going to be in the suburbs. I think another reason for moving is because we want to have kids soon, maybe in the next 1 to 2 years, and as we said, it's just so difficult to raise kids in Manhattan, and if we were to live in Brooklyn or Jersey or the suburbs of New York, we might as well be back in California. So because we sort of did the city life here, maybe it's time to live in the suburbs and not spend as much money. I think SF is hard because you still need a car, even though there's public transportation, it's not that great, and it's really expensive, and I think at this point in our lives, it might be time to just say goodbye to the city. So yeah, I'll obviously document this journey as I'm going from moving to another state, finding housing, figuring out how to live, where to live, job search. I know I give all these tips on how to find jobs, but can I even find a job? You know, I'm obviously nervous about, there's a lot of competition out there, but there's also a lot of good companies, so hopefully I'll be able to find another in-house job. And yeah, so we still have another few months here in New York, and there's a lot we still want to do on our bucket list. But again, thank you guys so much for your support, and I hope you guys will continue to be with me on this journey. And as I guess my life in New York vlogs will now become life in the Bay Area or California. So yeah, if you have anything you want me to cover during this move, let me know in the comments below, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.